Hello everyone, this is Fabio and welcome to a new game discussion. And today we're going to talk about Medieval Resurrection for the PSP. A complete and kind of unexpected turn from the games that I usually play, since this is clearly not an RPG or something like that, but I wanted to change games I play because as you know, recently I've been playing and finished the entire Gaga trilogy, um, Prophecy of the Moon and Witch, Tear of Vermilion, and Song of the Ocean. After playing all those RPGs, and all of them are kind of long RPGs, like between 40, 50, and something more hours. I was thinking, let's take a break from RPGs now. Also because I'm playing actually an RPG on the Game Boy Advance, and that would probably be my next discussion video. But in the meanwhile, for my PSP, I wanted something different. Just taking a break because I have other RPGs that are waiting for me on the PSP. So I say, let's play something more action oriented, something completely different. So I was looking on Amazon, and after a while, I this game caught my attention. I was like, oh, Medieval. That's interesting. I remember this game because originally I played a demo a long time ago of the first Medieval game on the PS1, and that was it. I never owned the game. Then a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, back then for my birthday, when it was released, gave me Medieval 2. So I owned that, and I thought it was a great game for the PS1. It's a great platform, um, a lot of comedy, of course, but I haven't played it in a long time, so I don't remember it very well. But I remember that I liked it and enjoyed it a lot, and especially for the main reasons why I liked this game. Um, so a long time has passed since I touched a medieval game. I didn't even know at the beginning that there was a medieval game on the PSP. When I looked at it, that's right. It was very cheap on Amazon. I think I paid like between £3 and £5, so that's okay. And it was like a kind of nostalgic because it reminded me of when I played the original games. So I bought it, I played it, and I finished it yesterday evening. So this game was published by Sony and actually developed by SCE Cambridge, now known as Guerrilla Cambridge, but they are owned by Sony. It's a Sony company, so everything by Sony. And it was published in 2005 as one of the launch title on PSP. So it's interesting. It's a really, really early PSP game. And this is actually a not the third game, the sequel of Medieval 2. It's the third game in the series, but not Medieval 3. It's not that. It's a reimagination of the first game. It's the same story, but with a lot of changes. I don't know what are the changes because I didn't play the first game, just the demo, which is just the first level or something. So I don't really know what's changed. You can just read on Wikipedia, but um, that's the thing. It's a sort of remake with some differences. And uh, what's the basic story of this game? So a long time ago, the land of Gallowmere was threatened by this evil sorcerer called Zarok, but he was defeated after a great battle. Now Zarok has returned with an army of demons and undead, and the only hope to stop him lies in the hands of Sir Daniel Fortescue, the hero of the first Battle of Gallowmere. And he has to travel through the land of Gallowmere in order to find a way to stop Zarok, save his kingdom, and ultimately earn his spot as a hero. Um, and that's it. It's a really simple story. You don't play a medieval game for the story. Um, the reason why you play this game and the reason why I found it very charming and the reasons why I suggest you to try this game because it's cheap, it's easy to play, it took me about a week playing like an hour and a half per day, something like that. So it will not take you too much time. But the reasons to play this game to me are mainly two. The first of it's the main character, Sir Daniel Fortescue. He is a great character. I really like him, even though it's not like as maybe charismatic or um, unbelievably cool as other video game characters. Because as you can see, it's just like a skeleton without his jaw and without an eye, because he lost his eye during this battle. Um, but it's also connected with the other and main reason to me with that why this game is worth playing, and that is the humor. It's connected because Daniel is a really well done to me parody of the knight hero archetype. Because I said that the hero of Gallowmere, but as you discover at the beginning of the game, it's not a spoiler, is not an actual hero. Actually, he made up um, all of his deeds, all of his epic adventures, like he's slaying a dragon, but that's not true. It was just good at telling story. That's a fantastic thing to me. Also, the fact that it doesn't have a jaw, it even ridiculizes him even more because he can talk very well. It's just like it just does noises like this. Everybody else seems to understand him, so it's very funny, but it's even more ridiculous. And all the other heroes of Gallowmere makes fun of him because of this, like he doesn't have a jaw. They know he's not a real hero. So he's a lot of fun as a character. But at the end, this is also a journey to prove himself, to show his loyalty for his land, is willing to protect Gallowmere, and especially show that he actually can be a real hero. And that's great, I think. It's such a funny, goofy character, but also well determined to prove himself, to show that he can do this. And moving on to the second reason why this game is great, I think, is the humor, naturally. It's the main, I think, feature of the Medieval series. Because this is a very humor based game. Uh, it's all a sort of parody of sort of gothic horror, um, like zombie thing. I mean, there are undead demons and everything, but it's all looked in a sort of ridiculous way. Starting from the main character, he's a joke of a hero actually, because it's true, like he guided the troops at the Great Battle of Gallowmere, but he was the first one to die because he was struck by an arrow in his eye. That's the reason why he doesn't have an eye. That's fantastic. He was the first to die. What a hero. Or um, just like, for example, the narrator, the gargoyles, everybody. There's so much fun in this game. I think with a strong, of course, British touch, since it was made in this game was made in the UK. So from the way characters talk, with the exception of someone, but like the narrator has this thick British accent. It's very, very funny. It's just like Pumpkin Gorge, not George, or like this. I cannot do it, of course, but it's very funny. Also, the gargoyles are very fun because even they uh, uh, think that Daniel Fortescue is a joke. Actually, they say, well, here it is, Daniel Fortescue, the hero of Gallowmere." Or another one in the cemetery is like, "Welcome back to Gallowmere, Daniel. These are strange, crazy times," and blah blah blah, yada yada yada. You know the drill. Don't move along. You're blocking my view. All like this. It's so much fun. Zarok himself is a joke as a villain. I mean, it's this sort of skinny, very tall guy, always trying to um, find the perfect evil laugh, but always fail, with the exception at the end. That's funny, actually, that at the end, while he's dying, say, finally, a good evil laugh, and then he dies. I mean, that's the thing. The humor in this game, it's great, and it's the main reason to me to play the game, because from the technical point of view, like the graphics are good. I think it's a 3D game, but nothing special. This is kind of an early PSP game, so I will not say that this game pushes the PSP to its limit, of course, but it's okay to look at it. It's nice. I didn't mind it. The music, it's kind of good, I have to say. It's orchestrated, sometimes has some. It depends on the level, but it has some spooky themes in a way. Not spooky in a creepy way, because this game is not creepy or scary at all, actually. But like some orchestrated choirs, or it really changes according to the level. Like for example, in the asylum, you have a more weird theme. In the cornfield, you have a more happy-go-lucky theme. It's all like that. So graphics, music, they're okay, I think, for what it is. I mean, they work fine for a medieval kind of game. Um, the main thing, the controllers works fine. I mean, uh, you control this with the stick, the X and square button attack, the circle button jumps. I mean, it's a really basic action game because um, actually, for a game like this, an action-adventure platform hack and slash, you certainly don't need complicated controllers. The only thing that wasn't perfect, but this game is far from perfect, of course, but the only issue that I have, only sometimes, is not as bad as I heard or read, was the camera, actually. The camera didn't work very well sometimes, not all the time, because the thing is, contrary to, for example, a game that I play that had issues again with camera Parasite Eve the third birthday, you cannot control the camera with the D-pad because you move with the stick, as I said. The D-pad move the character as well, not the camera. So you cannot look at whatever you want. But when you move, like the camera, a couple of seconds later follows you. But you point the camera like ahead of you with the R button. So in combat, that's when it gets a kind of clunky, I think, but not all the time. Because if it's just one-on-one, you just point the enemy and kill him. It's not a real problem. The problem is when you're surrounded by enemies. So when you're facing like 5 skeletons or 6 boiler soldiers, yeah, there are boiler soldiers in this game, um, that is when the camera gets annoying in a way, but because you are trying to run in a way, trying to point the camera to the enemy in order to also to engage him, because that's the main feature of the camera. It allows you to engage like aiming to the enemy. Sometimes it can get clunky. You just have to run around, turn yourself, and then point the camera. As I said, it can get annoying, but it's true that it's doesn't work very well in this kind of situation, so with a lot of enemies. But at the same time, this kind of situation don't happen very often. I think like there are 18 levels in this game, including 2 levels without enemies, like dragon something like the dragon's cave. It's only a boss battle, and the Hall of Heroes. It's not a real level. You just meet the other heroes of Galomir. So on, let's say 17 levels, I think a situation like this with a lot of enemies happens not certainly not more than 5 times out of 17 levels. So I don't think it's such a big issue to say the camera sucks. It might be better. That's the thing in combat. Just like using the D-pad for the camera would have been better, for example, I think, like in Parasite Eve. Also because in combat it's usually one-on-one, two-on-one. You don't really need uh, to constantly move the camera. You can just focus on one enemy, try to avoid the other using your shield or dodging, but it was not a big issue. So that's about it. There's not much I can actually say about this game. It's kind of a short game. Yes, it's not a 50-hour game because it's an hack and slash game, an action adventure. I think it was the right time for this kind of game. It was exactly what I needed after this RPG marathon, and it allows me to relax a little because of its really goofy nature. It was really what I needed after the Gaga trilogy marathon, as I said. I think I played for like certainly not more than I think 10 hours or something. It's not a long game. It's true there are like 17, 18 levels, but some of them are quite easy. I use a guide only on a couple of occasions because, but it's kind of an easy game. Um, you can go through pretty quickly, but I recommend to play it actually because it's a real fun game. It's you can play relaxing while playing, enjoy the comedy, and explore this land with this great hero of Sir Daniel. Because I cannot stress this enough. He is one of the main reasons to play the game. Sir Daniel Fortescue is such a fun main character. I really, really liked him, and I remember him actually pretty well. So that's about it. That's my review for Medieval Resurrection. A fun game, a fun action game with horror elements, but a lot of fun, a lot of comedy. Um, by no means, this is not a masterpiece. It's a really early PS. It's a launch title on the PSP, but um, I think it's perfect as I played as a break from bigger games. Not that this is a small games by any. Again, it's a nice game. It's a nice, fun, easy game. I'm going to play bigger games after, like other RPGs or stuff like that. So this was really the break that I need. It's a series that I really like. I enjoy to look for the second one. I think you can find all the games on PS Network on uh, or anything like that. Probably on PS1 they're not even that expensive. I haven't checked. So I really recommend the Medieval series. Uh, a lot of fun, a lot of parody of the knights saving the world or stuff like that. Like the second one was even more ridiculous. It's like Daniel in the Victorian age or something like that. It was really cool. But that's another story. That's another game. Check out Medieval Resurrection if you want a break from bigger game. Um, really fun game. That's it, guys. Like always, thanks for watching, and I see you next time. Take care.